All right. Hello, hello, everybody. We are live and we are going to get right into this sewing and advent calendar. As I said before, actually, I'm going to put it in the chat. This is what I bought from Etsy. I'm going to put it in the chat real quick because I'm sure people will come on. Etsy shop is CaliQuilt Co. Yes. And it looks like they also have a website. So I did put that in the chat box who I got this from. So what I am making today is this very cute Christmas Advent calendar. I picked up the backing that I'm going to use. I purchased from Joann's. Let me just show you. I actually didn't have any red thread, so I had to pick up red thread. And I will apologize in advance because this lighting is going to get super crappy. I did not have time to go and get my high resolution daylight light for my lights overhead, my ceiling lights here. So it might look a little grainy as the day progresses, but we're going to jump right into it and see how long this takes. But this is what I chose as my backing fabric. I chose this. And I see maybe a couple people are on. If you are, just say hi so I know somebody's there. But this is what I chose. It is a dog. And I saw this and thought this was so cute. You all know I miss my Regal, my Great Dane. And so when I saw this, I was like, oh, that's so cute. So that will be the backing for this calendar. And it is 0.87. Hey, Celestine, 0.875 wide red binding because I'm not a quilter, but I did ask at Joann's, was this wide enough to do a simple binding? The lady, she was semi-helpful, but she said yes. And so my machine is here. I have not threaded it yet because what I wanted to do while I still have what I do have of some light is to go ahead and cut this out. So for those who are catching this in the replay, do feel free to fast forward. And for those who are here live, feel free to jump off and come back in. I do not know how long this is going to take. My goal for the lives, I'm still getting used to making them. They've been going 40 minutes. I would love to edit my conversation where the lives are only between 20 and 25 minutes, but we shall see. Today is going to be a long one. So be prepared. So let's go ahead and get started. I have not prepped anything, so I need to do some cutting and I will show and tell you what I am cutting. And because I have to take you from room to room with me, I have also turned on. Uh-oh. Okay. There was an update here. I hope. Hey, Celeste, you can hear me, yes? If somebody can just make sure that you can hear me, because something popped up on the computer. Hi, Alidra. We are at the cutting table, and I am going to try to share how I am cutting this. Okay, good. So what I am going to do is just a big square. So I am just going to use my rotary cutter and cut along the box edge there, along the box edge. So that shouldn't take very long at all because I'm actually going to use my rotary cutter. And let me see if I can place this down so you can see how this gets cut out. Let's see. Yes, there you go. So I'm going to use this rotary cutter to cut the calendar part out. So let me do that. And I should have brought my scissors because I just bought some new blades because this blade is kind of, yeah, I'm going to have to cut. Where it's not really. All right. And the instructions if you didn't see, are on the side panel that you get. So I'm going to show just cutting this out along the border per the instructions. We're going to cut this out. All right. And all right, so almost done. That's only taken about a minute. I only have this one side left to do. Okay, so that is it. That was easy. We got the entire calendar cut out. So that is done. I will run an iron over that, but now for the actual pockets. So these are the pockets. And so what I'm to do is, let me move this out of the way, is cut along what you're doing is cutting the strips. It's having you cut along the strip and you're going to make a pleat is what the goal is going to be. So you don't have to cut out each individual square and top stitch it on. So let me go ahead and do that. It's just four strips, 3 cutting lines. And I'm actually going to turn this. So you have the different strips like this that you are cutting out. And each one of these, I'm going to put some Pellin SF101 to give it some weight. So we'll do that next. And you'll kind of see how I do some of my interfacing. I don't do it like this all the time, but it's much faster. And actually what I should have done, now that I'm thinking about it, is laid this entire piece over the interfaced it, and then cut it. But that's okay. That is okay. Because I try to spend as less time as possible interfacing individual pieces, which now I'm going to be doing, I think, twice the work. If you know what I mean. If I had just laid this bottom piece on top of the interfacing and then cut it, I'm only cutting it once. But now I'm going to be cutting twice. So just consider that when you need to interface, save yourself some steps. So that's just a tip. And I don't know if anybody else do that, but if you do, let me know. Yeah, I need to change my blade. Okay, so we are done at the cutting table. Well, no, we are not. Let me now, here are the instructions. I'm going to put those behind my neck, but I am going to use the calendar piece to cut out the cotton batting, which I have right here. So I'm gonna lay the cotton batting out. It's probably makes sense to lay it this way. So this is the cotton batting that I'm going to use to back the calendar. So what I'm doing is laying on top of the batting. Not perfect. I'm going to allow it to hang over just a little bit. Just to allow room for sewing. You know how batting can sometimes seem like it draws up or something while you're working with it. So I'm just going to leave just a little bit of overhang. As you can tell, see, not a lot of overhang, but just a little bit. Smooth that out. Go ahead and cut it. So this is the extra. Now I'm going to throw that right there. And then this side, because there's a little bit more overhang there, I'm going to go ahead and cut that. And leave myself just a little bit of overhang. There you go. So that's that. Now I will go ahead and do the same thing with the back. So with the back of the calendar, what that's going to look like, I'm going to do the exact same thing. This is not a directional print. I don't know if you can tell, but it's not a directional print, so I don't have to worry about this going in a certain direction. So I'm going to move this, lay this out. And again, I'm not going to line it up perfectly to the corners or to the edge. I'm going to leave just a little bit of overhang, give myself room for error. If something happens, move it up just a little bit. So again, just using the calendar as a cutting guide. That's it. I got a little overhang here. I'm going to go ahead and leave myself a little here at the bottom. Do some clipping because my blade is not the sharpest. Then I'm going to kind of carefully rotate. Nope. I don't know why I did that. Okay, good. Just move it out just a little bit and get, again, I'm going to chop that off, this overhang in the end, but I'm leaving myself room for error. And that is it. We are done at the cutting table, I do believe. So let's go to the ironing board so we can iron on our rolls. We have 4 rolls to put on. All right. We are 14 minutes in, not bad. Let's see how long this takes. So, as you all know, my sewing space, now we are in where I iron. And this is a storage area for a lot of our business stuff. But you can see what I'm going to do is, and this is what I do for interfacing to save time. And had I been thinking, I would have laid the whole piece over, that bottom piece over all of this and then cut it. So like I said, I'm doing double the work now. So I'm just going to lay the interfacing on the ironing board. I don't know how long these strips are. Let's see. Oop, I'm gonna have to lay it this way. All right. So I'm unraveling just enough. And hopefully, make sure my iron is hot. Sorry about that. Yes, you can see. I am going to just lay all of these. This is why I said I should have just laid that bottom piece on here and just saved myself some time, but that's okay. I'm just going to lay these pieces here. Hopefully that makes sense when I say that about saving yourself some time. So now I'm just going to press on the interfacing. And I have one more row to do. 3 fit in my little space here. And here's the thing, I do have a heat press, which would have worked brilliantly for this, where I kept the piece intact, put it on top of the interface, and then laid it on top of my heat press, and I would have been just fine. One good press, and I don't have to keep lifting the iron. So feel free, for those who are catching this in the replay, to fast forward. Those who are live, step away, come back. I should be done interfacing. But here we go, nevertheless. And all right, getting there, getting there, getting there. And I actually may run back to my cutting table and use my rotary cutter to recut as opposed to cutting. Here we go, one more. And I'm not really spacing them all that much, just a tiny bit. I don't want to waste any interfacing, but I am spacing the different ones just a tiny bit in between, since I do have to recut this. Okay, that is done. All right, so I am going to go back to the cutting table and cut around that and then cut the lines in between. So may as well come back with me. We'll do that and then we'll be at the sewing machine. This is hilarious. But this is my extra. All right, so we are going to lay this back out. Just the pieces that need to be cut. There we go. All right, let's get this. All right, one. 2. And 3. All right, off to the machine we go, and then we can finally start sewing. Okay. Hope everybody is having a good day. I may or may not need to iron something else. We shall see. How's everybody's day today? How's everybody doing? If you're still with me. All right, here we go. So what I have is oh, you're not late. I'm just getting going. We have the panels, the dates that have been backed with, let's see here. There we go. Have been backed with SF 101. And like I said, a tip is before I had separated the top from the bottom, I could have just laid that bottom over the SF 101 and just cut it once. But as you saw, I was cutting twice. And so that was kind of a little bit extra effort. And I do have a heat press. That's when I was talking about my heat press. I use my heat press for t-shirts for my business, but having learned about handbags and continue to learn, I'm going to start using it to press my interfacing on. I know a lot of people use that, or they use a steam press. If they don't have a heat press, they use a steam press. I've cut out the back for the calendar, and I cut out the the cotton batting as well. I have the instructions wrapped around my neck that I'm going to lay out in front of me to make sure. I read through the instructions a couple times, but just to make sure, I don't miss something. I picked up my red binding, and again, sorry, you guys, this lighting, I did not change my ceiling lights to the high definition daylight lights, which will be very good. I don't know if that will be enough to save me from getting actual, not box lights, but maybe a small tabletop ring light. I don't know yet. This is a pack of 3 yards. So the lady suggested I get 2. So I have 2. I won't open up the second one until I see how this first one does. So one of the things I have to do is go ahead and change over my thread. So you can see what I'm doing here. I have black thread in here, and I want to go ahead and put my red in. And I have my little 3-tier tray next to me, which is what I keep everything I reach for most often. I keep that on the side here. And I have my little bobbin case. This side is for one machine. This side is for my SE400 machine, because they take different bobbins. And then, of course, my Janome that I just picked up takes even a different bobbin. And so I leave those in my Janome machine because it's enough room to put some in there till I get another holder. I will have to wind a fresh bobbin. So I will need to go ahead and get that, just poking a hole in the top so I can put that up on here. And my bobbins, extra bobbins, are over here to the side. So I'm going to do that. When I had a steam press, I used it only for interfacing. I do miss it. Oh, I know it's convenient. And prior, I only did t-shirts with mine. And I hadn't made a whole heck of a lot of t-shirts through my business as of late because I don't have some of the supplies to do it. I have limited supplies, so I haven't been advertising that as much as of yet. And I'm thinking, I know I can use this heat press for other stuff. And sure enough, I sure can for bag making. So I am going to, I think that's going to be too loose. Okay, why isn't my bobbin winding? Oh. There we go. I don't know why I needed to disengage this. So how is everybody doing this evening? Hopefully you had a great day or having a great day. Hey there, Gracie from Canada. Thank you for tuning in. Oh, do you see that? I don't think I pulled this tight enough. I'm going to have to grab another bobbin. Look at that. Look what I accidentally did. Ooh, I'm glad I caught that before it got too out of hand. And it somehow I let it twisted on the bottom. Okay. All right. Here we go. I'll have to take that thread off at a later date, but interesting. I don't think I did anything any different than I normally do when I am winding my bobbin. So oh, no wonder. No wonder it wasn't going before. I was holding on to I was pushing the wrong foot pillow. Hey, Marlo, good evening. Look at that. So we're good now. Yeah, that was a little weird. So what we are doing, it says, let me just, while this is going, it says the next step. How does it feel, Tara? I don't know, because you're not in the room with me, but it's just, I feel bad that my lighting is going to be a little crappy. That's the only thing, is that lighting is a little, I normally record, if you all notice, I always record in good light. And that's because I only record in the daytime and or when it's light out. And so before it got too dark outside, I was still able to come home and record if I needed to. But now that it gets dark a whole lot earlier, now I have to pretty much save my recording to the weekend and just make sure I have everything done for the most part. And I have a habit. I do not use my threader on my machine. It's just as fast as for me to just pull it through like I just did. And I am sewing, if I did not say, I'm sewing on a Brother SE400. It is a sewing / embroidery machine. So let's read what the second step says. After it says that the solid lines are for cutting, dotted lines are a guide for the box pleats. So what you may or may not be able to see is on here. Yeah, you can. You see those dotted lines? That's for the pleat. And so it says to press over the seam allowance on the top edge of each pocket strip. Okay, so I'm supposed to, I guess I am going to end up going back to my ironing board. Okay, you guys are going back to my ironing board. Okay, so the first step is to press over the seam allowance on the top edge of each pocket strip and top stitch. Oh, that makes sense. So go ahead. And I told you I read these instructions a couple times. And anyway, and then it says make box pleats in between each pocket on the strip. Press side seams over between each pocket. Bring it together on central dotted line. See diagram. So it's saying here, this is how it's supposed to look. So you have that box pleat and then you have the numbers that come in. So essentially, after I've pressed and top stitched down, I'm supposed to, as the diagram shows, and I got the diagram sitting right here, but I'm supposed to bring that in like this. Can you see that? That's it's kind of weird, but pretty much it might just be easy for me to just sew, because you're supposed to have this box pleat, I'm sure, to have a nice little pocket. But I don't know. What do you all think? I think I should. It's like that the box pleat part, this part is not wide enough to make it look how it is here. It's not that much space between the numbers, if you know what I'm saying. So if I'm looking at it and I just bring it together, make sure the lines are together, it won't be perfect. But what I'm curious, I'm gonna clip this all the way across using my method and make sure that it fits on the calendar, because that's not a box pleat. It's not, because it's supposed to create a pocket. And I'm thinking with the box pleat, it's supposed to hang open, but maybe that won't be good if I put something in there that has a little bit of weight to it. I'm just folding it at the dotted lines and having the sides of each pocket square meet up. Because all I'm doing, all I'm going to end up doing, it says make box pleats in between each pocket on the strips, press the side seams over, and then press over allowance at sides and bottom of each pocket strip to enclose the box pleat, tack to hold in place, pin the pocket strips to the calendar. So maybe it's not supposed to be like a pocket hanging open. It's a pocket, but I was thinking that maybe the box pleat will cause it to hang open a little bit, but that's probably good. It won't if I am putting stuff in the pockets that might have a little weight. So say I decide to put candy in here, instead of it drooping open with like this, it'll stay pretty much closed. But I'm just pinning this all the way across because I want to make sure that after I've pinned the pockets, make sure the numbers line up here side by side. I just want to make sure that strip fits on the calendar, that I'm doing this right, essentially, before I get to sewing stuff together and realize, ooh, that doesn't fit on the calendar. That wouldn't be fun. So I just have a couple. And again, I'm not the fastest sewist in the world, y'all. By no means. But this is a good opportunity just for a quickie project. Maybe, you got kids, family, or you want to gift this to somebody, something like this to somebody. I think it will be a nice gift. I mean, you can really go all out. And if you do gift this to somebody, create something. I'm using binder clips. Create something to put in each pocket so that person you gift it to don't have to worry about that. And all they have to do is hang it up. And that's the one thing I didn't pull out. I will but you guys don't have to necessarily see me do that because my plan is to hang this on the door. So that means when I add that backing, I'm going to have to add a loop. And I think I have something near me the loop doesn't have to be anything complicated, real simple, because it's just hanging on the door, right? Okay, so I've done it. I have went ahead and connected all of the boxes. And so what I want to see is if I attach this strip, because you just line the strip up. So this is starting with 9 and ending with 22. So I'm going to find that week, 9 and 22. And I just want to see if it lines up. Oh, it does. Oh, isn't that nice? Okay, that's it. I must have missed something. Are the pockets going to be cut apart since? No, that's what I liked about this. I've seen some where you have to cut each individual pocket, top stitch them, and sew each square on. No, it's the entire strip. And all you're doing, what I'm getting ready to do, going to the iron here in a second. I am going to iron down the seam allowance at the top as the pattern suggested. I've already clipped this in, so I'm not going to unclip the bottom. I'm going to unclip the top so I can press down the seam allowance, because what it says is once you do this, once you top stitch, then you're supposed to fold in the sides like this, press that in, and press under the bottom as well. After you've top stitched, pin it on here and then sew it up. And then that's supposed to be it. So, and then I got to, of course, attach the backing. So it does fit. It does fit. There is just a little tiny bit of where it doesn't match completely, but I think you won't be able to tell that as much once you fold the sides in. So we are going to go back to the sewing machine, to the ironing board, and we're going to sew down the top seam allowance. Then we're going to top stitch and go from there. Now that I get what's going on here. So, all right, everybody, let's go back to the ironing board. I'm gonna take these top clips off because I have to top stitch all of that. So let's head on back to the ironing board. I guess the lighting isn't too bad, only when I move into dark spots like that. So what we have to do is iron that top seam allowance. So again, if you didn't see, I folded down the top. This is the seam allowance you fold down, and then you press or iron all the way across the seam allowance. Because you have to top stitch. And actually, since you don't have to put on the individual squares, which I like, it don't take as long to do. As you can tell, for those who are watching and even those who catch it in the replay, I think I could have saved myself a couple steps and take even less time, but that's okay. So we have this strip. My second strip, I only have 4 total strips. And we're going to go ahead and press that, or iron it, I should say. Iron this down the top. Very nice, very nice. Actually, I saw a little peak there, so I'm gonna So we are good. So that's strip number 2. Strip number 3, folding down. Again, we're folding down that seam allowance. Let's see how that look. Nope, gotta go in just a little bit more. Don't want any peaks of the seam allowance showing. At least I don't. I'm sure that wouldn't hurt anything. Gotta go down just a little bit here. So this is what we're doing. Fold that seam allowance down. And then oh. Yes, the numbers are not in sequence, which I like. I thought you meant if the individual numbers needed to be sewn on, and they don't. But yes, you're right. I didn't answer that properly, Trudy. Yes, you're just sewing on the strip, which is nice because that means you're not taking all this time trying to sew up all these individual pocket squares. You are just sewing down the strip. And then it's going to get interesting when I get ready to sew down the, do you have a sew plate cover on your iron? Oh, what I have is, yes, I have this. Oh, I don't have the packaging, but I got it from, it is, I'll show it again, a closer look. I cannot remember the company for the life of me. But I got it after watching and I set my, my stitch length to top stitch, not top stitch, I'm sorry. Yes, I'm supposed to set it to top stitch. I'm setting my top stitch to 3.5. And because it doesn't say, the stitch length you're supposed to use on this, but I'm using, I'm gonna use 3.5. I'm comfortable with that. And so I'll show you, I can't remember the company it was. And let me now show you the sewing part. It's a little bit of a glare, but I think you can see. But what I'm doing is, like I said, just top stitching along the top, and I'm putting, you can't see because of the glare. I don't know how to get that glare out of there, but I'm just putting the edge of this to the edge of my presser foot, which comes out to about, that looks about a little over 1/4 inch. So I am going to go ahead, and I'm not going to back stitch or anything because this gets folded in, the edge gets folded in. So we're just going to go ahead and get started. I keep pressing the wrong presser foot because I have 2 presser foots under here. Okay. So we are going to just go ahead and top stitch because that is what it says. So as we get close to the end, again, just to save myself time, I'm not going to do any thread clipping or anything like that. I'm just gonna feed the next one up under my presser foot and keep it moving. It didn't like that initially, but there we go. See, these are connected, if you can tell back there. Uh-oh, did I do something? Ah, I did. See, if I wasn't live, I could edit this part out. I don't know what I just did. All I did was connect them. I have done that a million times, and not until I go live do I have a snafu. And we know we hate pulling this thing out, but I won't do that on the next strip. I'll just go ahead and unpick. That was it. And for those who don't know, if you have this type of threader, I'm sorry, type of seam ripper, this part is to erase off your threads. But mine were long where I didn't need to use that. And because of my little snafu, I am going to have to rethread my needle, which is fine. And I'm actually going to test on a piece of fabric to make sure I didn't screw something up with the bobbin thread either. I'm just going to take this real quick. Okay. So it didn't like me doing that, so I won't do it. I'm going to go ahead on, as I said, matching the edge up with the edge of the presser foot. And just top stitching all the way across as the instructions say. Now we have 2 more rows of this to do. So feel free to fast forward this section. Or come on back in about another minute. When I get to that binding piece for the quilt, the quilting, all my quilters out there, I ask for your forgiveness in advance because I'm doing a very rough binding here. It's not going to be, I don't think, what quilters will call perfect. But again, it's just a quick thing here. This is the one that I clipped the bottom already, so I'm just being careful. All right, that's done. So all of my top stitching is done on each of the strips. And it says, just to re-emphasize what the next step is, which I have, see, this is what happens when I sew. I don't know if this happens when you also, if you have instructions near you, they somehow disappear. Okay, so it says after you've done that, you make the box pleat, press the side seams over between each pocket, bring it together on central dotted line. See diagram, press over seam allowance at the sides and at the bottom of the strip to enclose the box pleat, tack to hold in place. And then you pin it together. So I'm thinking because you're supposed to, oh, it will be a pocket because I'm not sewing across the top. Okay, so what I was thinking, it will open a little bit. Okay, that is fine. So what I am going to do is, because you're supposed to fold, the next step is to fold this in. So I'm going to fold in the sides. I'm going to fold up the bottom and press and iron that. So that's what I'm going to do for each strip. So I guess we're headed back to the sewing machine. So how this is going to work is it will be a little bit of a pocket, because what I'm supposed to do is once I fold this under, it's telling me to tack it in place. Let me just read that again, because it's telling, did I miss something? Oh no, it says to fold over the sides, fold over the bottom, tack to hold it in place, and then pin. And then I'm supposed to stitch the side, pin everything together and stitch the sides, stitch the pockets around the side in the pocket. Oh, it says stitch in between each pocket using the dotted line as a guide. That's a little confusing. So if I've already put this together, it's not enough real estate for this to open up. Or oh, thank you. Hey, Patricia. So, Gracie, it depends on what kind of fabric I'm working with. If I prefer pins over clips, for slipperier fabrics, I always use my Wonder Clips. For stuff like this, I will use Wonder Clips, and I use Wonder Clips when I'm working with handbags and wallets. So to me, you all can tell me if you think differently. You're supposed to be able to create this box pleat and have all this space open. But if you look at the instructions, see the diagram on here? Oop, I can get to it. You're supposed to have this nice big size box pleat. You don't have that much space in between. Once you fold this up, that's just barely oh no, you gotta cut and press and put together, Myra. See, there's not that much real estate. So this is where I'm going to improvise. I will go ahead on and put the box pleats in and fold under the underside. I think what I'm going to do, okay, this is what I'm going to do now that I'm thinking about it, because you have to have this in place. If I go iron this under, there's nothing to hold that bottom in place if I just let that go. So I think I'm going to go ahead and tack this first, each one across. I'm going to base stitch. I'm not going to tack. I'm going to go ahead and use a long basting stitch across the bottom, because I can always pull that out in the end just to hold this in place. And then I'll fold it under. I think we'll see. I'm going to set it to the longest stitch. We are going to, because I have to fold this edge over anyway, each side into the middle. Yep, that's what you're supposed to do. But when I did that, there wasn't any, the pleat part, like here. See, when you fold it into the middle and you have that little box pleat, there's not a lot there to work with. And I don't want to be fumbling. So what I'm going to do is, oh, the dotted lines are right here. So let me show you one that's not folded. So here's the strip. Can you see that dotted line? That dotted line is right there. So what you're supposed to do is bring these solid lines together and have this box pleat. But look how little that is. That's not a lot of real estate. That's small, right? So no, I'm not gonna sit here and fumble. It's something that's just going up on the door. So what I'm going to do is fold this in. I'm not going to iron, and I'm going to baste this, baste at the bottom, all the way at the bottom, because I'll be all day trying to mess around with those box pleats, folding it because I still have to fold the seam allowance at the bottom. And no, now this, I'm sure was not the intention of how this was supposed to come together. But I would be here all day trying to do this with those little bitty pleats, box pleats. And I don't think it should be that complicated. So we're gonna just go ahead and baste all the way down at the bottom. And it's not a perfect baste because I have to go back in. I do have to go back in and iron, press under the seam allowance at the bottom of this. So that's why I'm going ahead and basting this. Because if I did that first, that thing, it wouldn't hold in place. Hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense. And if somebody have a different thought about it, feel free to put that in the chat. Oop, that's not. Let me see. That wasn't coming across as far as I would have liked. So I'm going to redo that one. Of course, when you get to the end, it's like, okay, it don't want to act right. Okay. So now the end, I'm going to fold under just like I did the top. Or just like I did the other side, I should say. So what I did was, instead, I just went ahead and basted the entire bottom together, because what I'm supposed to do is now sew this under and then pin it onto the calendar and just top stitch it down. That's what I'm supposed to do. And then the sides and the bottom. And so I wonder if you have up the borders, meaning folded them in too, it could work. This here, you mean folded in like this, like I'm doing? Because what I'm going to do is, so if I pin this, if I go ahead and iron this up and then I start pinning it down, it's going to be pockets, but see, it wants me to stitch in between each line here, which I don't know. I'm gonna see how this first one go. I just want to see how this is going to look, because I feel like something might have been a little off for me with the instructions. So I'm gonna go ahead and go to the ironing board and sew this up. So I guess I'll take you back with me. I actually almost left you, but I am live. This is not something I can edit. So we are going to, so this is the shoe I have on here. It's a drawstring one. I like it. It's really nice. It's a Teflon. I wish I knew what company it was. I'll try to look it up and put it in the description box later after I put the items in the description box. But I do like it. And it's a drawstring and it draws up onto the iron. I forget who that's by. So what I am going to do is press down the side and also, because I am real curious how this is going to look. So you can't see my basting stitches when I turn this up, which I won't have to worry about pulling them out now because you won't see it anyway. Okay. All righty. So that is how it looks. Let's go back and we are going to pin this. Sorry, I missed most of this. It's heading to midnight for us in the UK. But that stitch unpicker tool you have that lets you rub the threads away looks really, oh, that thing is so nice. And when you land it on a flat surface, it just really just erases the threads very, very easy and very fast. So here is what I've done. So I went ahead and basted all the way across the bottom. And I know it's late, so feel free to catch the replay if you want. That way you can skip through a lot of this and you can kind of just see how it's going to look in the end, because I've been on for an hour and we're going to see. I told you I'm not a fast sewer. And then when I get hung up on instructions, well, I'm thinking that seems a little extra. Then I try to work around it. So this strip is for the 9th through the 22nd. So I'm going to find the 9th through the 22nd. I really should have a flat surface. I'm going to have to move this out of the way. So I can have a nice flat surface, because what I'm supposed to do is pin this down. And I don't know how much I'll be able to show you this. Let's see. You can kind of see me fumbling over here, but it's supposed to pin down. I'm actually gonna just go ahead and pin this down. And then show you what it looks like. Because then what I'm thinking is, I'm just curious how this is gonna, because I'm supposed to top stitch across the top. I'm sorry, the bottom. I'm just gonna pin in place. Here's the pockets. I think, like I said, those box pleats are so small to think. Okay, that box pleat wasn't, I didn't catch that. It wasn't deep enough. That's okay. I'm gonna have to make sure I pay attention to that when I do the other ones. But I'll show you what I'm saying in just a second. I have one more to pin. And then I'll show you what's happening. Okay. Okay, so what we have here is the first strip I managed to do. Hi, Pamela. I'm using a, Brenda, I'm using a Brother SE400. So I've pinned the pocket in place. Oh, I am going to have to sew along the dotted line. So I was folding the solid lines together, but when it says to sew on the dotted line, I'm still gonna have to sew on the dotted line. I gotcha. So I am, okay. That is a little bit more work than I thought, but which technically, yeah. So how do you, oh goodness. So, okay, I am going to improvise because I closed it up and I did the basting stitch at the bottom. I can't sew all the way down that dotted line to the bottom because I have, and let me just show you, I have basted all of that down. And so it wants you to stitch each line all the way down, but I've closed that up. So I'm just going to top stitch. I'm just going to top stitch that in place, and we're going to see how this looks. So let me turn the camera back to what I am doing. Yeah, this is going to be interesting. I'm going to put my stitch length at 3. I'll leave it at 3.5 because that's what I'm going to top stitch at. So let's see. So I am going to see what happens. Yeah, you can't edit this out. I'm a back stitch though. Yeah, well, I mean, it looks fine, but I don't know that that was the intention for sure for this. But we are going to roll with it because it is working. Sometimes you just got to go with the flow. But that means this project, the way I end up having to improvise it, is going to take just a little bit longer than I intended. And I'm just going slow. I only got a couple more rows, and then I'll show you what it looks like. And this is the one I didn't fold over quite right. So I know my machine is I'm not gonna go all the way to the bottom on that one. I'll show you what I mean in just a second, because I didn't. All right. Ugh. Come back. Fast forward. If you're watching the replay, this part is going to take a minute. But that's what happens when you are going live. And quite truthfully, I think I can edit this to take out a lot, but that means I have to download the video into my editing software, edit it, then re-upload it. And the problem with that is I lose all of the continuity of the video, the comments and questions and stuff. If I did all of that, that will take all of that out. So this is probably will be the longest video ever I put on YouTube. Yes. And you all will appreciate, I will have a video up on Sunday that is pre-recorded and edited. So yeah, like I said, that's the downside of doing lives, I think, because you can't edit and cut stuff out. Okay, making sure I'm not missing any questions. So this one is not perfect, but I think so. Let me quickly take these pins out and let me show you what I did. And actually the way I did it, I don't know that I need to stitch the bottom. Yes, I do, because they're pockets. Sometimes you just got to talk out loud. I do still have to stitch the bottom, so let me go ahead and do that. I'm going to stitch the side close and then stitch the bottom and show you what I did, because what I'm doing, I'll have to do 1, 2, 3 more times. And like I said, I do not believe that was the intention, but I have some loose threads. But it'll be done after I do the other 3. And so now I am going to, I thought I felt a pen. Be careful with pens. And so I'm trying to cut my thread here. All right, so now we're closing the bottom, and then I'll be done with this and you'll see. You'll see what I mean. So by all means, not perfect. And I have to be careful over this part because I folded up that bottom wrong. So I'll know when I do my other ones to be careful when I meet those solid lines together. But I'll show you what I mean in just a second, because this first row is done, which is a good sign. And I think I'm doing about a 1/8 inch top stitch from the edge. Oops. Okay, so we are done. And this is how the other 3 is going to look. And then for those who are catching a replay, feel free to fast forward, because the other 3 rows will go exactly the same. And for those who are here, hey, Kim, glad you made it. So here it is. Let me hold it. Let me do this. So here it is. So I stitched the pocket on the row. Here's the strip on here. Here are the individual pockets. So the individual pockets, that's why I needed to, you're supposed to sew on the dotted line. But again, there was not enough real estate, if you saw that, for me to do that. So I just, you can't really see. Actually, let's do some further improvising. Oh, this is hilarious. Let's do some further improvising. I'm going to try to light this up a little bit more so you can see what it is that I'm saying. Here we go. Sorry, not trying to blind you, but I do want you to kind of see. Maybe I can do something. Yeah, I can do. That's a little bit better, right? So if you can see, and I'm not going to be looking into the camera because I'm trying to look on the screen to make sure I'm showing you the right thing. So as you can see here, instead of, because there was not a lot of real estate in between to make a folded out pleat where I can stitch down easily, what I did was over the pleat, I laid it on top of the other box, made sure that the solid lines were matched up, and I just stitched down. So I have the pockets. So all the pockets are in place. So yeah, all the pockets are in place. So does that make sense? And here is where I wanted to show, because I didn't fold the pleat over quite perfectly. We have a little bit of bunching down here. And then I tried to fold it over some more, and it wasn't trying to cooperate. So what do I need to do? I've already top stitched down. I need to now go ahead and I feel like this takes forever. I need to go ahead and press up the bottom on these like this. And then meet again. See, here's the dotted line. You can see that dotted line. you're supposed to have this large pleat in between, but as you can tell, that's barely any type of pleat. And so I'm just going to overlap them so I can, or maybe I need to overlap them first, stitch down, then fold under, then press under the bottom and stitch it on. That makes a lot more sense. That is making a lot more sense because the running back to the iron, what I'm trying to do is save steps here, going back and forth to the iron. And so that's what I'm going to do. I am going to go ahead and stitch down, stitch together each pocket, overlapping each one. And instead of trying to do that on here, just do it separate. And then press under the bottom, press under the sides, stitch all the way around. Yep. Did y'all catch that? Y'all get me? I don't know if my camera's gonna stay still. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Yes, that makes sense to me. That makes sense to me. And I'm trying to make sure I fold my pockets in the same direction because I had this upside down. Okay, so I folded everything to the left. So I want to make sure I stay consistent, at least on that. So does that make sense? If anybody's still with me, what I'm doing, what I've decided to do is just, instead of trying to sew on top of this calendar, it's easier just to sew this in place. It's done. And all I got to do is fold under. And actually, I'm not going to even backstitch the bottom because it doesn't matter. That will be, yes, it makes sense. Did you say what you were going to put in the pockets? Oh, I haven't decided yet. Feel free to take some suggestions. I've thought of a few different things, like randomly put in candy in certain ones. But I'll get the candy and just have my husband put the candy in certain days. The thing is, I'll have to put extra candy in there because he's going to want some. And other days I will put, I don't know, maybe something Christmas related, like a Christmas song. Even though I can't play the song, I'll probably put like a title of a song and you guys tell me who you think that is, what the song is. And again, this is going to be during Vlogmas. So that's what I'm thinking, Myra, is to put in some, put a mix of candy and maybe like a Christmas trivia. Let's call it that, some Christmas trivia, which will probably just be songs or movies. Maybe I'll say a quote from a movie, and that's what I'll do. How does that sound? I'll do a mix of candy I'll put in here, and then I'll do a mix of a movie. I didn't backstitch. Let me backstitch. And then I'll put a mix of a movie or a song in here. And that'll be, we'll just have some Christmas trivia every day. Does that make sense? That sounds like fun. And again, it's Vlogmas. So you all will have the opportunity. And the Vlogmas is recorded daily, but it's uploaded. So I don't have to worry about, and they're not long. Well, I guess they can be. I've seen some Vlogmas where they are quite lengthy, but my goal is to keep mine relatively short because obviously I won't be doing a full day of my day because I work. So we'll start the day out with picking out of our little advent calendar pocket. And then I have some other ideas what I'm going to do on that day. And then I'll do those other ideas, and it'll be a mix of candy and trivia, some Christmas trivia. And it's probably all going to be US based. Thanks, Gracie. I thought that did sound like fun too. It's all going to be US based Christmas trivia. So sorry for anybody who's in Canada. I have a lot of viewers out of, I noticed in my analytics, out of Canada and out of the UK. So there will be no Canada and UK trivia in there because obviously I don't know any. So it's all going to be US based Christmas, I don't know, random Christmas stuff. Any trivia songs. Some of the songs are universal, so that won't be a big deal. So that's what I did. I went ahead and just sewed them down. And what I'm going to do is when I go iron, I'm going to iron this to the top, pin it, and sew it around. That is going to save. See how much time that saved? So if you guys do get this advent calendar to sew up, you might want to consider that. And I'm just clipping threads. And I'm a thread clipper as I go. It kind of annoys me to have threads hanging all over the place while I'm sewing. But anyway, so I'm just I only have 2 more to do. This really did save some time. And you all saw it live. When things don't quite make sense or work the way maybe it's convenient for you, improvise. And that's exactly what I did. Went ahead and just improvised. Let me just start out and make sure I'm backstitching. And I'm making sure this time that the ends that I'm combining together aren't wonky, because I did have that on my first strip, that wonkiness. So, oh, my phone is holding up, so you guys probably think, oh, she got some good lighting. That's my phone. All I did was hang this thing over my laptop. Look like I got good lighting going on. Y'all like that? You like that? But hey, do what you got to do. I'll get that. I think because the lighting isn't horrible. It's not the best by no means. If I were to turn my cell phone light off here, so I can tell if I did, like Myra had told me, get some, change my light bulbs in my ceiling. Yeah, I think that'll be fine. And then I'll see how that works. I'll probably still need a desk lamp, LED light, not an LED light. Y'all know what I'm saying, that box light, but just for the table. I don't want the kind that you stand up on the floor and you need all that space and room. I don't have that type of space in here for that. And plus I don't want that, because not only does it take up a lot of space, but from my understanding, those things get so hot. So I don't have time for that. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I have a fan blowing down here on the floor because it gets warm in here. But today in Texas, oh, thanks, Missy. But today here in Texas, it was 80 degrees. 80 degrees. I don't know if Myra is still on. Myra is in Florida. Myra, what was you all's temperature today? And y'all, if anybody is in Texas and you know that we got down into the 40s, it was this cold snap, but it was a cold snap across the United States. It just wasn't here. And it got down in the 40s for a couple of days. And that's when a lot of people got sick, including myself. And now it's 80s again. But, that's one of the reasons why we relocated, because we wanted to be somewhere where it was warmer weather. All right. See, so much faster, don't you think? Don't y'all think that was just so much faster? And I have only one more strip to go, and that's done. So I'm getting in my mind towards the end, because all I have to do is pin these together, and I'm gonna pin them all at once so I can just sew it all at once and be done. And Florida 58, 70 a.m. and 70s in the p.m. See, so Myra know what I'm saying, because I'm sure Florida got just a little chilly too, but that, that was a across the United States thing. I know where I'm from in Wisconsin, it got freezing cold. See, that's what I went ahead and did. And so when I go to my iron, I'm only going over to this iron once for this. I'm just clipping my threads. Iron up the seam allowances, and I'm just cutting off these threads. All right. One more to go. Then we can pin these on. This is awesome. And actually, yeah, that's fine. I'm in Texas too. I gave up trying to get the thermostat right. It's on 68 for heat. That is hilarious. Because it does get hot in this house. Our air is on, but it's on 78. So it only kicks in. It probably kicks in when we're not here. Because it's a lot of windows in this house, and so it will hook. And so it probably did, and it's a brick house, so it probably did kick on earlier. But in the evenings, it don't kick in. That's why we set it so high, 78 for cooling. It's not gonna kick in. And the thing I miss, because we owned a home in Wisconsin, we sold it, but what I miss is we had the thermostat that you can set. Thank you, Renelle. Is it Renelle, like in Danielle? You can set to be on at different times to kind of, help out on your energy bill. But the thermostat that's here doesn't do that. And because we don't own the house, we're not investing in something like that. Which, give or take, depending on how serious we are about saving, I guess we could. I don't think those things actually cost a lot. You just switch it out with the one that's in. It just pops on and off. So, but I don't know. We're ready to own a home, actually. So that's where our mindset is. Almost done. Oh, Renelle. Okay. All right, y'all. This is all right. Get this strip together. So if anybody gets this calendar, which I really like, you just don't have enough real estate for that box pleat. I don't think you do. Based on what I showed you, you don't have enough real estate to do it exactly how they want you to do it. But you saw my improvising here. You are just fine. And look at that. Almost. Oh. I just realized something. But goodness grief. I know why I waited. Yeah. We just gonna keep it moving. I'll tell you guys what I did if nobody picked up on it already. What I did wrong. I'll tell you soon as I'm done, and why it would have made sense to do this, sew this on. So this is what happened when you go live. you all get to see all of the mistakes. I need these pockets to stay in place though. So yes, I did. There was a little bit of innovation putting that on there, but you will notice I am still going to have to go back. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew these all on first and then go back and do the line in between. That'll be easier. So everything, hey, Renelle, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I didn't want to. Yes, Missy, you should have said something. I am. I didn't realize it until just now. You're going to have to stitch. Yes, Brenda, I'm double stitching. And y'all been hearing me say all day, figure out how to do things where you don't have to do things twice. And I just defeated that whole purpose. So essentially, when I do pin that on there, I'm still going to have to go back through and do that. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go this is improvising. I hope you all can see. I am going to improvise. And after I go ahead and stitch it around, I'm going to go all the way down. All the way down. I'm not going to go each individual line. So I'm just going to go each row all the way down. Oh, thanks, Alidra. Thank you. So what I am going to do is go to the iron. So there we go. I just figured out a solution, a quick solution. Because to go back and do individual, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go all the way down, and which will be fine. Oh my gosh. I can't believe I'm getting close to being done. I'm just clipping some threads. Let's head back to the ironing board and sew up the side seams and the bottom seam. I only have 3 to do. Then I'm going to pin all of them on, stitch around, and then stitch down the rows. So let's head over. I'm gonna have to take this off. Yeah, you can definitely hold on. I think. All right. I'm gonna turn this off for now. Okay. But that light was pretty good. Kelly, you understood what I just said? Instead of, I know why now you stitch down each one, but hopefully that makes sense. What I'm going to do, let me get this hot. Actually, that's still heating up, so I'm just going to leave that there. But I'm folding in the sides. I'm going to fold in the bottom. I'm going to hold that there. And so that's fine. We found a quick solution to go ahead and, all right, now it's hot, hot, hot. And I have a finger, because this iron is hot. I had a finger. I have one of those 3-tier trays next to my table. Here it is, this thing. So I can get up on this. I don't know if you can see that sting, but that was close to my finger. So we are going to, I got my little finger so I don't. So we are all on my top stitching. It's a little wonky on that one. Okay, So one, we only have 3 to do. We are going to, all right. Looking good, looking good. This thing helps. I have to run. Looking good so far. Yes, Myra, by all means. Nobody, please feel obligated to stay on because you can always come back and fast forward to the end when I'm done to see how it looked. But thank you so much for joining. I appreciate it. We are going to go ahead quick. That is that. Hey, I am cutting out some pattern pieces while I'm watching you. It doesn't feel like I am sewing by myself. Oh, is that a shark iron? Kind of looks like. No, this is a Hamilton Beach from Walmart. Hamilton Beach from Walmart. And I got it because you guys can't tell, but it's purple. Y'all know that's my favorite color. And I saw it, I was like, yep, mine. So let me, there we go. All right. These sides are in. Take off my little finger. And back to the sewing machine we go. Okay, so what we did, let me just show you where we at now. We are actually getting across the hump at 1 hour and 37 minutes in. So I have ironed up the side seams and the bottom seam. And now I am going to pin each of these in place over here on this flat surface. I have some space over here. I don't know if you'll be able to see me. You won't be able to see me. I will have to move my machine. But what I'm going to do is just pin down each strip to each corresponding week that's here. All right. We are cooking with gas. And I just unplugged my machine. Okay, we are cooking with gas. So I'm going to go ahead on and lay this one down and pin it on. Oh, I am loving this. And this is actually the part where we're getting towards finalizing putting the pockets on. Because like I just said, I am going to improvise how I sew the pockets down. I'm trying to make sure I put this in place good. All right. And then I'm going to put each strip on at one time so we are not doubling back. They are all on here. And I tried my best here to match up all the block colors. So this is the 12th. Oh, this is let me do the next one, the 5th through the 4th. And all of my threads are not clipped. That's annoying me. So, okay. And my top stitching isn't the best either. But that's okay. We are cooking with gas. This is what I like. Let's go ahead on and get this on here. Got one more row. The 12th through the 20th. And yes, yes, yes. That is all good. I'm loving it. Yay! Now I can see how this is going to look as it gets put together here. So what I have just done is, now let me see. I think that light from my phone did help. Let's see what we got going. There we go. Yes. So what I did was pinned all of the rows in place. So as you can see, all of the rows are pinned. What I'm going to do is stitch around the edge, all the way around the bottom, come back up to the top, and then I'm going to go down. And it was bent over, but the rows, everything seems to be lined up. I'll be able to go down. Yes, there will be stitches in between these lines, but that's okay. I'm not worried about that. We are, I'm going to set her back at, I didn't realize I changed. Oh no, I unplugged it. So it's reset itself. So I am going to, yes, yes, yes. We are almost finished. Ah. So let's go. And I'm doing 1/8 inch from, let me go down here. You can't see it because of the glare, but I am doing 1/8 inch from the edge. And I'll show you that as soon as I am done. We're going to go ahead and get going. All right. And the trick is not sticking yourself with pins as you are sewing, which I do all the time. So I'm just trying to make sure everything is straight as I'm going across, because I pinned all the way across flat, and I'm just still double checking that it's flat while I'm going across here. And so what I don't know if you guys can hear in my machine, it's where it's folded over. That's a little thick for this machine. I think I actually can. Making sure my other rows aren't getting in the way. Oh, yes, 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 yes. Yes, 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 yes. Excited, excited, excited. So, oops, I didn't iron that the best, but okay. We are good. There we go. Yay. 2 more rows. And I just stuck myself with the pen. Oh, too funny. But bound to happen. right? So I did the first one. I have 2 more to go. And then I'll go down each one. And oh my gosh, this first part will be finished. Wow. Okay. Let's get going. I'm glad I filled the bobbin all the way up. Sometimes I do that. Sometimes I don't. If it's a smaller project, sometimes I don't fill my bobbins all the way up, especially if I don't feel like I have enough bobbins, if I need extra bobbins for other projects. But I actually have enough of these bobbins. I shouldn't be running out. So I didn't have to worry about trying to preserve and only bobbin half, wind half a bobbin on this one. Yay! Oh, that is awesome. All right. So now, oops, my presser foot got caught in the one pocket. All right, so now we are going to finish this off. I want a little over the edge on that one. That's okay. We got one more row, y'all. I can't tell. My camera is covering up if anybody's still with me. I don't know. Is anybody still with me? I can see the comments, but I can't physically see because my camera, the lighting is covering that up. So I am finishing off the final row. Trying to make sure that that is nice and straight as I wanted it. Doing 1/8 inch from the edge. At least trying to stick to that. All right, now we're doing across the bottom. All right, all right, all right, all right. So exciting. I'll be able to show you all these finished pockets here momentarily. Yes, yes, yes. Just making sure this stays as straight as possible because I have my laptop here, so I can't spread this out as much as I would like, more flat. So if you have enough of a, a flat surface that you can kind of spread it out, or if it's not a bed, extra bed, that you at least this side of your sewing machine is free so you can have space. Oh, I didn't iron that into kosher. All right, here we go. This is the final corner. All right, that's that. So, like I said earlier, because I did stitch the pockets down each way, what I'm going to do now is just sew all the way down, all the way. So we have, and I already stitched on one. I stitched on this one. So this one is already on, but I'm going to end up stitching over it again so I can go all the way down instead of going 1, 2, 3, 4. No, I'm going to go all the way down and hit them all at the same time. Let me get, I got some stuff in the way over here. I'll be using these binder clips in just a moment. because I am going to do, I'm not that familiar with binding at all. So the way I'm going to show you how I'm going to do it is probably not the way you're supposed to do it, but this is going to be hanging on a door. And I'm just clipping my threads. So, and I will show you, I think I have some red ribbon is what I'm going to use to, I'm just still going to use that 3.5 stitch length and try to go over my same stitches as much as I can. Hopefully you can still see me. And you will see my stitch lines in between each row, but I'm not worried about that. It's red. It's a red stitch line, so at least the thread matches. But doing it like this is saving me time from doing each individual pocket. That is just too much. So let me just show you what I did. Oops, that wasn't all that straight, but I just went down. I don't even know if you can see the stitches. So I'm just going to go down each row to make sure I got a nice clean pocket. And because I didn't leave myself enough space, I'm going to move my machine over just a little bit, as much as I can, because I'm needing some space over here. So let's go ahead. Let me try to get this as straight as possible. The pocket was trying to get caught up under my presser foot. There we go. Don't you hate when your presser foot slides? And I'm on carpet up here. I keep saying I'm gonna put a little gripper underneath there. Your foot be all under the sewing table because your foot moved. Oh, your pedal, I should say, moved. All right. Oops. Now I got this pedal too far up under my foot. I'm speed driving. And you will be able to tell, at least, I don't know if you will or not, but because I didn't fold a couple of my pockets right, you can definitely tell in the stitch that go from row to row. But I don't know who's looking at that, but I'm just saying. I think the beads of hot glue would stop it from sliding too. Beads of hot, you mean on the pockets as I'm doing them? Is that what you mean, Missy? Oh, or are you meaning the foot pedal? No, you're not meaning the foot pedal because you don't want to put hot glue on your foot pedal. You're probably talking about these pockets. All right. And I am noticing some of these are stitched in the ditch. Trying to get the lines in between each row right. So I'm going to, I'll keep it going in this direction. I'll just fold it in a little bit on this side so I can feed it properly. Make sure everything is nice and straight. Okay, how's that looking? We are looking okay. This is our last row. Thank you. And the church said amen, because this is the last row. Oh, gosh. But we are live. And so that's getting caught up under my presser foot, that pocket. Okay. All right, that's it. That's the last row, everybody. That's it. Oh, you did mean under the presser foot. Oh, do you mean hot glue onto something? Because I have carpet, so I don't want to, obviously don't want to put that against the carpet. Where did my little scissors go? You all, anybody else like me? Kind of just stuff be all over the place when you're sewing. You're like, where did that go? I just had it in my hand. Okay, so all of our strips are on. So as I'm clipping these threads, to recap, to save yourself pressing time, go back to the beginning of the video if you're catching a replay, put your pieces all down at once to go ahead and interface, and then just cut out once to kind of prevent from going back and forth. It will work as a stopper. Oh, put the drops on on there, let it dry, then put it. I got you. So here we are. It's done. All our pockets are in. Let me show this close up. We got all of our pockets. We have all the days. For those who are just tuning in or you're getting to this part of the video, I am going to have some Christmas trivia in here. It's going to be a combination of candy in here. So each day I pick out, it'll be something different. The trivia will be a question that I'll pose. If it's a trivia that I pull out, it's a question that I'll pose. It's up to you to answer. You don't get anything for answering, but it'll just be fun to see what people say in the comments. So say I say, and his nose was red or something like that. Who is that? Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer. And so something like that. That's what will be in the pockets. And like I say, I have other things planned for the Vlogmas, but the Vlogmas, I'm going to really try to keep to 10 to 15 minutes. Because those will go up daily, and obviously they'll all be a day behind unless I cut off my Vlogmas around 8 o'clock at night Central Standard Time and just upload that same day. That's probably what I'll do. Give myself to 8 o'clock p.m. to finish whatever it is I'm going to record for Vlogmas that day, so it can upload in that same day. That's what I'll do. So there it is. That is it. All of our pockets are on. As you can see, I saved time. Instead of stitching one like I did for the one I put on, I just sewed all the way down. Save myself some time. And we have pockets. So exciting. And so as you can see, you all have been on here. You know that the numbers just correspond and you just lay that strip over it. So the next thing I am going to do, the final part. Thank you, Kelly. Thanks so much. I am going to, now, granted, I don't know if this is the right way to do it. I am just going to clip the batting, the cotton batting. And remember, I left myself some overhang. You love pockets on anything, Trudy. I'm going to just leave myself some overhang. So if you hung in there with me, can I ask, let's see, who's here? 22 people. If you don't mind, go ahead and thumbs up this video if you hung in here that long. I do appreciate it. But what I'm going to do is go ahead and clip the batting on. and then clip to that the back. So we have some weight, and then I'm gonna just sew all the way around and do the binding, and we'll be done. So let me talk and clip, and if anybody has any questions, this is a perfect time to go ahead, because I'm just gonna use my binder clips and go all the way around. And I'm actually going to use, I hope, I have these longer binder clips because I have a lot of overhang on this side. I'm gonna use these on this side. So I got the super long binder clips I'll use on this side. The other sides I can use the, and I can see right through here, I'm actually lining up this here edge with this edge. And I know I have that extra overhang, but all that's gonna get cut off after I sew. Now I'm just gonna do a straight stitch. I'm gonna actually shorten my stitch length, because then when I add the binding, I'm just gonna do a top stitch at the 3.5. So, okay, while I'm doing this all the way around, anybody have any questions? And again, I'm not worried about this being perfect lined up, because the excess is gonna get cut off anyway. So this is what I'm doing. So here's the front. As you can see, here's the back. And I'm just clipping, making sure everything is nice and straight back there. I don't want any bubbling, so I'm gonna have to back up a little bit here, because I want the back flat. And as you can tell, this is something you would want to do on a flat surface. You don't want to do this, you know, how I'm doing it, because you definitely just want to make sure that batting is covering up the entire front. And I tried to cut I did leave overhang for the, I might have to use hands for some of this. But what I'm just making sure is that I see that batting. And then I'll make sure that that's smoothed out on the bottom. And actually, while I'm thinking about it, if anybody is PDF plotting easy to use, yes, it surely is. It is, there's videos here on YouTube. I did share a video. I forgot, in some recent video, somebody asked me, and I did share a video that showed you how to use it, how to upload it's several videos out on YouTube that show you how to upload your pattern on there, and go ahead and just real easy. Actually, I ordered, what did I just order? The anorak, this raincoat I shared with you guys. I hadn't ordered the printout, so I went ahead and ordered the printout. So that just arrived the other day, actually, come to think about it. So my edges and everything aren't neat, but only thing I was worried about is that there was enough room. See, here's the back. And I'm not quilting this at all. I'm just making sure, I just wanted to make sure there was enough room, because I knew I was going to cut off the excess anyway. So that is what I am doing. Let's see how that looks. So so here we go. So I think I need to clip my ribbon, or the little hook I'm gonna put here. I think I better pin that in. And it's sitting right here. I have some ribbon right here, right where I'm at. Let me grab that. Okay, so I have some of this. I am going to cut off. I don't need that much. It just needs to hang, right? So I'm just guesstimating. I don't need that much. I went ahead and just cut off. And I got this roll. For those who are in Arizona, I bought this entire roll for $6.99. It is 5/8 inch ribbon. And I got this at SAS Fabrics in Phoenix, Arizona. So I am going to know that it matters where the ribbon is attached, the front or the back. I'm just going to do, see, I'm just going to do it like that. And actually just clip it. So when I sew across it, actually, I think I'm going to pin it because it seems to shift a little bit with the clip. And I'll show you what I'm saying in just a second. I'm trying to leave a long enough hook. And obviously, you can make your little loop as long as you want it. But here it is. So what I've done is just pin this in place. And I'm going to just stitch. And actually, bear with me. I am going to get on the floor. I am looking on the floor because the back isn't as straight, as flat as it needs to be. Again, you want to lay your back piece out on a flat surface. And this is why, because you don't want your back to be all bunchy. And if there's excess that you're going to have to cut off, it doesn't matter, at least in my opinion, because you can even all of that up. So here we go. We are here, and I am going to have to move my machine over. I do not have enough real estate here. Space real estate, so this can comfortably sew through. So I am getting ready to just sew around the edges, and we are just about done. And I'm doing about a 1/8 inch stitch all the way around. Everything is clipped and pinned in place. Let's go. I have to move my foot because it's going a little slow. There we go. Uh-oh, you can't see me. There you go. And I'll get to your question in just a second. I just saw somebody's question pop up. So just give me a moment. I will come in and answer that. Uh-oh. I unpinned this before I was supposed to. Let me make sure that's even. Okay. There we go. Now my loop is on. We are going to all right. So the top is done. We're going to do the side here. Let me do this. This is so pretty. I do like it. So cute. Nice. I'm almost done. It's just going to be the binding after this. And I can already tell you I'm not going to be bothered trying to do a miter corner with that binding. Because one, I don't know how to do them quickly. So I will be sitting here trying to figure it out forever. But I'll show you what I'm going to do with the binding. Nice. And I'm going to show you all this excess I have is just going to all get cut off. And if anybody's asking any questions, I will get to that momentarily. And y'all already know how I feel about loose threads. So pretty. This is so pretty. I'm loving the way it turned out. Or it's turning out. It's almost done. Yeah, you can see. So you see the batting can shift. That's why I left that overhang, because I can tell the batting shifted a little bit. But the good thing is when I put the binding on, if it did shift, it didn't shift that much. But if it did shift too much out of the way, I actually didn't cut the edge off all the way. It will be caught in the binding anyway. Ooh, this is so pretty. Look at that. I'll show you guys. I'm almost done. And I might run to my, cut it back to the cutting table and rotary cut the excess off. It'll be faster than me trying to cut on my lap here because it's not a flat surface. Although I don't know that really makes a difference because I'm covering up the edges anyway, but still, I think it'll be much faster if I just rotary cut these edges, the excesses. There we go. Done. Look at that. Hey, Christy. You said it's raining in Arizona. Will the calendar fold in if the ribbon is just in the middle after you put stuff in the pockets? It shouldn't, because if it's hanging on the door like this, oh, you mean fold in? I don't know. If it does, you know what I'm going to do? I could always just go ahead and put 2 more ribbons right here, just in case it does, because then I can still just do 3 hooks on the door. Let's do that. Thank you. I should have then measured how much, because I see what you're saying. It could. Let me see if I can measure about how much I pulled off. About right here. And then we're just gonna cut another one, because if it do fold in, I will just probably plan to put 3 little hooks. So, because it is wide, if stuff is sitting in it, it might start bowing in or looking saggy instead of flush up against the wall. So thank you so much for that. Is that Trudy? Yes, Trudy. Trudy, see? Oh, a fellow Wisconsinite. Look at you. You know I'm from Wisconsin too. So I'm going to actually pin this in place. Thank you, Trudy. I do appreciate it. Because now the key is making sure I'm doing this about the same all the way across. I'm going to pin this down. Because like I said, it was shifting when I was trying to clip it down. So I just want to make sure these are as even as possible. You guys just seen me cut 2 pieces of ribbon and just lost the second one just that quick. There's too much stuff over here. Oh, right up under my foot. Oh, you could fold over top and put a small dowel rod through. Oh, but then how would that work if I was to put it up, if I'm trying to hang it against the wall? I'm planning on putting this on the back of my door. That would have been an option too, but this is fine since I'm already here. I'm going to do that. I'm trying to make sure everything is spaced evenly. And the thing is, I think the back is going to show. I think the back where the ribbon is going to show. But it is the back. And it's not going to be perfect. So I will give myself leeway on that. Let me just start. So I'm gonna and I'm not lifting up the needle to go across each one. That's too much starting and stopping. So yeah, that will be fine. Thank you, Trudy. I do appreciate it. So now I won't be flustered if this thing starts bowing with everything I'll be putting in the pockets. Almost done. All right. Yay. I'm just double back stitching across the ribbon part just for some extra stability. Yay. Done, done, done. It looks good. Thank you, Patricia. Good night. Come back tomorrow and just fast forward to the end so you can see how it looks. So I said I was going to go to my cutting table, but I am just going to cut off all this excess all the way around. Add on the binding, and we're going to be done. We're going to be done. Because actually nobody's going to see that cut line. So I guess it really doesn't make a difference if it's straight or not. All right, let's see here. Because all I'm trying to do is just cut to the edge of the actual calendar. not cutting off the loops I just did. That would be not good. Let me make sure I am not cutting the loops. There we go. I'm gonna cut this down just a little bit more. So hopefully you can see me. And that's it. Cut the bottom. See, that's why I had all that excess, that overhang of the batting and of the back piece, just to allow myself a little real estate if things shifted when I was putting this together, when I was pinning it together. That's it. Wow, so pretty. So pretty. All right, everybody, this is the final step. So here we are. We have our loops on. Thank you, Trudy, for that. And so what I'm going to now do is add the binding on here. I have to clip that on. I'll have to use my smaller wonder clips for that. I'll use my smaller wonder clips, but let me just clip that a little bit. That's it. So here is the binding. So like I said, this is 7/8 inch. And I'm going to take it down just a little bit here. And I'm going to start clipping this all the way around. And I'm going to fold that binding in. I'm going to top stitch it around, and I'm going to start on this side. What I feel like the right side, because I'm right-handed. I think what might happen is the binding, look at that. So the binding is going to be a little closer to that line than I think it was intended to be, but that's okay. We're just trying to get these raw edges covered up. So I'm going to clip this binding on. Let's see how I manage this corner. I'm almost done. I appreciate anybody that is hanging in here, because this is long. Because I figured I already know how I'm going to do the edge, because I don't know how to do off the cuff a mitered corner. So I'm going to fold the binding edge in. Unless anybody that's on, you have a even faster suggestion. But I'm thinking for me, because I don't do any quilting, and I rarely, if I can count on one hand how many miter corners I put in a garment. Probably, I want to say twice. I don't want to fumble trying to figure out. And so we're getting ready to get to this corner now. It's one of two ways I figured I would do this. So I'm at the end. One of two ways. I can cut that off, or, yep, I'm not going to cut it off. I'm actually going to create this little wing. And so when I stitch it down, actually it's probably better to show it like this. I'm just gonna go like this and let it wrap around the corner like that, which is not a miter corner. It's just a quick get it in place. And that's what I'm going to do. And when I connect the two raw edges, I'm just going to fold one edge under instead of looking at me, I guess. Yeah. I'm just clipping this all the way around. Ooh. I wish I can send you guys hearts for hanging in with me, for those who hung through this. But I'm sending my appreciation and my thanks for anybody who hung in there. And so again, when I get to this edge, I am just going to fold this out like this. So it's like that. It's not going to be a perfect corner by any means. I'm just going to go all the way around and keep clipping, sandwiching in the edge. We're just sandwiching in that raw edge. Sandwiching in my raw edge all the way around. Almost done. And then I'm just going to use the 3.5 stitch length that I've been using all day, all evening for top stitching. Top stitch all the way around, and she will be done. Then you will, next time you see her will be for Vlogmas. She'll be done. Look at that. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I got 2 packs. Yeah, I would think. I'm glad I did, because it looks like I might be running out of binding. So this is where the hook is, or the little loop is. So I want to make sure I got that nice and tight. Make sure that loop that is caught down in there. Oops. Oops. Got some loose threads. We are almost there. So just a little bit more binding left. OMG. I will update the thumbnail for this tomorrow, because I think I'm going to take a picture of it done. I think I took a picture of it raw, but we are going to, I will change out the thumbnail on this video tomorrow. Oh, 1 pack. I only have to go through 1 pack. So I'm using 1 3-yard pack of pre-made binding from Joann Fabrics. And that's all I needed. So now I'm getting to the end. What I am going to do is cut this at a slight angle. And, oops. Yeah, I don't think, yeah, that raw edge is going to show. So, well, that's still a little too long. Well, I could just overlap it too. Let me see. If I go ahead and get that corner, overlap it. Okay. And then when I get down here, instead of that being raw like that, I'm just going to fold it under, finger press it under. Actually, I did not need to cut that on the angle because it's not folding right. So now when I fold it under, I don't have that raw, see, I don't have that raw piece hanging out. And I'm clip this in place. And that's it. OMG. So let's do it. Let's wrap her up. So I am going to move the camera that you can see me sewing here. All I have to do is sew all the way around. And I'm going to top stitch. And I'm starting a little down, not at the top. I'm going to start a little down a little bit. Wow. Okay. And I'm pretty much trying to stick as close to the edge of the fold of the binding as I can. Let's go. And I'm making sure as I go that this is sandwiched in and it hasn't shifted. Even though I did put these clips in, it can shift. And I may do an intro for this video showing the completed project and just telling people they can fast forward through. Oh no, I can't, because then I have to edit it. You wouldn't see the comments and stuff. So scratch that. Making sure we are still sandwiched in. This isn't shifting. Make sure it's nice and tight against that binding. Ooh, love, love, love. All right, now we're getting towards that corner. I want to make sure everything is, and I'm slowing down when I get to this corner. There we go. I want to slow down when I got to that corner. There we go. I think next time I won't go as to the edge as close as I did, because I think it's not straight. Let me see. Oh, it's fine. But I will show I'm going to update the thumbnail for the video and just, you'll see the completed. I'll do a front and back so people can at least see. Yes, I completed it. Watch at your own peril. It's a long one. All right. And all right. All right, all right, all right. This is coming along. I'm just trying to slow down when I get to this corner. Making sure that everything is still sandwiched in nice and tight. Ooh, I went a little too fast there. All right, there we go. Now we make sure that this is in nice and tight. And so this is what I mean to go back a little bit, and then I'm going to go at the edge. I'll show you what I'm saying. This is, you can't see what I am doing. I'm making sure that the binding hasn't shifted and that it's still a nice snug fit. And you'll see how the edge isn't quite the same, like the amount of room. All right, everybody, we are getting towards the end. I only have one more side to go. It's actually the side with the handles. Ooh. So I don't think my corners are perfect here, but that is okay. This is the final end. I want to make sure my loops are pointing down. And not getting caught up. Make sure my loops are down. We are almost at the end. Make sure my loop is down. Go slow. And that is it. Let me put my clips away. I guess I can do that part after I get off the video. But we are done. I only used one pack of the binding, and it was only it's 8.875 wide in inches and 3 yards. I only used one pack to go all the way around. The lady told me to buy two, but that's fine. You just never know if you mess up or something like that. Let me check my threads. But she is done. She is done. She is done. Here she is. That's it. And thank you, Trudy. I put the 3 loops at the top, so when I hang it on the door, it'll be nice and flush. I guess I could have just did the 2. I probably don't need the other one, but it is done. We have our pockets. All of our pockets are on here. Thank you, Alidra, and I appreciate you hanging in there. Hopefully you were doing something else and just listening maybe while I was going through, but it is done. And here's my back. The little doggy reminds me of my dog Regal. I love it. Oh, so if you did hang in there with me, please make sure you give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, for those who are watching or fast forwarding through, feel free to subscribe. We got all of our pockets. Again, I got this from the CaliQuilt Company. I did put that in the chat. I'll put it in the description box as well. And I forget how much it was. It wasn't that expensive, and they came very fast. And as you can see, how long did it take me? 2.5 hours. See, I told you I'm not a fast sorter, but you saw the mistakes that I made too, right? And some improvising I had to do along the way, but she is ready. So the next time you will see her is for Vlogmas, and we will have different things in these pockets, from candy to Christmas trivia, and a few other things. And yeah, that is what we're doing. So she is done. Thank you, everybody, for those who hung in there. I'm going to move this over. I had to move my light over so I can at least see. But 2 hours and 40 minutes and we are finally done. So that is it. Thank you everybody so much. I appreciate it. Here's the back again. If you did not see, here are the loops. So you can see the raw edge of the loop because I didn't take it all the way to the top. I had it down a little bit more. So this one you can't see. So the ones I added later, you can see, and I'm actually going to clip those down as close as I can to the edge. Yeah. So the middle one I did fine, but when I added the other two, I didn't measure them perfectly. And so you can see the raw edge, but this is the back. Nobody's going to see that. So thank you. When you are going live again, this is the first time I've been able to watch live. Tara, I probably won't go live again until I'm ready to start sewing my holiday gifts. It was just easy this week to go live because I got stuff in the mail and I could open, and then doing this, I said I would do this. So I came back on to do this. I went live. This is my third time this week going live. So the other two videos are up already. Feel free to fast forward and catch those, but it'll probably be a couple more weeks before I go live. We got holiday time off and all of that. So next week I will be dedicating some time to doing some sew-alongs. We got the Cashmere Red Concord tee. I want to get in the Cashmere Red Upton dress if I can, because I haven't found my fabric for that yet. But I want to do a couple sew-alongs so those videos can be going out in between all those lives that I'll be doing coming up again soon. So hopefully that answers your question, but she is done. I love it. No, it's not perfect, but it is awesome. Thank you everybody so much. Thank you for the thumbs up. I appreciate it. I'm jumping off. It's time to go. It is 7:47 p.m. Central Standard Time here in Texas. And yeah, it is time to jump off. So thank you so much, Trudy. Thank you so much for your suggestion, Trudy, on adding these extra loops. I totally get it. Thank you for the tip. I forgot who it was. It might have been Marlo that was telling me about adding the little dots on the bottom. But that is it. That is it. I'm gonna clean up this space a little bit. Hot glued everything after the first hour. That is so funny. But that is it. I'm getting out of here. So you all have a blessed evening. Coming up on Sunday, I will have a recorded video that will be edited down. It should be my Rebecca Page Tara jacket. I'm working on the muslin right now, and I'm recording the fit and all of that. So you should see that on Sunday. All right. Thank you so much, Tara. You all enjoy the rest of your evening, those who stayed up. I know it's late, so I am going to get off of here. You all have a fantastic evening, and we will see you in the next video. Bye.